What class is this for?
Audio production. Alright, so we're starting. So I'll start with Logan. Just give me your name, the church you go to, and the position you have in that church.
So my name is Logan Wheeler. I'm a junior here at Wichita State. I go to River Community Church, but there's a Christian organization called Christian Challenge that I attend as well. And I'm one of the leaders there. So I lead a small group every Monday night and kind of help out with other different activities when needed.
Nathaniel?
My name is Nathaniel Reimer. I also go to Wichita State. I'm a junior too. And I do go to River as well and Christian Challenge. And I am a small group assistant leader underneath Logan. So I go to the same things he does for all of our small groups and things like that.
Alright, so if you could just give like a brief explanation of just like what is Christian Challenge and what is small groups.
Yeah, so Christian Challenge is how to train students to faithfully follow Jesus. So it's just we have like 100 or so students that attend, and basically we just have like sermons and worship, and then we kind of hang out on Thursday nights. And so basically that's what our Thursday nights look, and then each leader has their own small group, which have between 5 to 15 people in the small groups, and they meet once a week for like a debriefing of what the sermon was over on Thursday. Then we also have different activities on Thursdays or on different days of the week, kind of like trainings or just different hangouts and events that we can do. Like last weekend we had a man camp where all the men met up and they camped in the back of some forest type thing. But it rained and that was terrible. But yeah, it's kind of just students getting together that are following Jesus and living together as a community there. Just kind of as Jesus calls us to do. So,
Nathaniel, do you have anything to add on to that, or do you think that's good?
I think that was covered pretty well.
Alright, so we'll start with Logan again. Why did you join Christian Challenge in small groups?
Coming out of high school, I knew that my faith was very important to me. And so that's when I wanted to continue over into college. And so that was first finding a church and finding something to plug myself into so I don't get wasted away into this just the college life of partying and different other things that college kids typically do, just because my faith is very important to me. And so I just needed to find somebody, and Christian Challenge was the place for me. And so I instantly joined in and got connected into a small group, which was Matt Miller's. And so yeah, my faith is so important that I wanted to be involved on campus.
Nathaniel?
I joined after my freshman summer. I just kind of had a moment where I was like, I really want to kind of make my faith my own. I want to grow. And so I had heard about Christian Challenge my freshman year. And so coming in my sophomore year, I just signed up. I joined Logan's small group after like a week or two of going to Challenge. And I made that decision because I wanted to surround myself with Christian college students, people my age that I could become friends with and just discuss things that I had like thought about in my faith, or like help them with things that they thought about as well. And just the really important thing for me was finding people that were my age that were going through things that I was as well.
Alright. So, once again, we'll start with Logan. Why did you want to become a leader?
Well, honestly, to start, it was a pride thing for me. So they asked, I was attending Matt Miller's small group, and he asked if I would want to be a leader. And of course, it's like a position of power, you could say. And so pridefully, I wanted to be in it, obviously, just to kind of boost myself up. But then it changed from that mindset into just being able to lead other guys in their faith, and just kind of be somebody that they can come to when they're feeling a certain way or have questions. And so it went from pride into just kind of just wanting to be there for other guys who are struggling with the same things that I'm going through, and kind of giving them advice on how I handle things. and also being able to listen to 10 other guys' advice on how they handle things that I'm struggling with. So yeah, just kind of really just wanted to be able to connect with other guys is one way to put it.
So Nathaniel.
At first, well, I am not a leader. I'm a leader in training under Logan. And so he actually asked me to be a leader in training. It wasn't anything that I was asking around for. So at the beginning, I was pretty reluctant to actually like follow up and actually go through with it. But I ultimately decided to be a leader, or like to be a leader in training so that I could become a leader, because I thought back like through my college like experience, and I feel like if there was a guy who was like a really strong leader for me in those times, that was like really investing in me, it probably would have helped me a lot more. I wouldn't have had to like dilly-dally as much and just where I was with my faith and growing and all of that. And so the opportunity for me to be that guy in some other guy's life is why I want to be a leader.
All right. So if you could just give like a brief explanation of like what you have to do in order to become a leader of a small group.
What are you doing right now?
Right now, he and I meet. We discuss just generally how things go in our small group, kind of the different things that we see from the different guys, progress that we see from them, things that we think it could work on that we can just slowly push them towards as we go through the semester. We also we co-lead, so he usually would lead before I was a leader in training for all of our meetings, but now we kind of do a swap off where I'll lead one of our small groups and he'll lead the next one. That's mostly it, isn't it?
Yeah, I mean, there's certain content that that you can go through that is kind of helping you learn how to lead. But yeah, it's kind of just learning and asking questions on what you can do better. I mean, I still do that today, even though I'm not a leader in training. I'm still learning how to lead since we're still so young comparative to most people in a church. We're still learning and getting questions and getting mentored by different people. And so, yeah, just kind of asking questions and taking advice, and not necessarily criticism, but learning from your mistakes and getting told about your mistakes.
You are also expected to be a member at River Community Church, because that's the church that is sponsoring Christian Challenge. Like we have a pastor that leads that there, so it's all tied together. So to be a leader, it is expected that you're a member there.
All right. So Logan, what did you hope to gain from becoming a leader? Like any lessons or friendships or anything like that?
Yeah, definitely friendships were my main goal in getting into a small group but on becoming a leader, kind of like I said earlier when I first got asked, it was a pride thing. But now what I'm looking for is just honestly just kind of the discipline of being able to show up consistently for other people, and sometimes putting my wants aside, and kind of prioritizing their needs sometimes. And so it's kind of just teaching me discipline and faithfulness, and also just how to be just like a good leader in general, outside of the Christian faith as well. So kind of like in relationships with a girlfriend or with other people, it's kind of just teaching me the disciplines of how to lead just people in general as well.
Nathaniel, you're an assistant, about to become a leader.
Mm-hmm.
So what is your desire that you hope to get with becoming a leader?
Well, like I said, I do want to be that influence for other guys that are in my future small group, because what will happen is I'll end up splitting off and forming my own as Logan moves on and has his small group too. But I also think that one thing I really want to gain from it is like the accountability, being able to have these guys that are involved in my life and I in theirs, so we can all pull each other together closer to Christ, and just improving our walk in our faith together. And I really enjoy the really focused conversation that we can have, because a lot of the times with the sermon, you have your own little notes, but there's not really anyone to bounce you the ideas that you have off the sermon, questions that you have, because the sermon is happening. And there's a little time after challenge where people talk about it. But having a small group where you can really focus on what was said in like a discussion oriented space rather than it being like a sermon, I find really helpful, and I enjoy that a lot.
You kind of already answered that question, so we'll skip to the next one. How do you think this will impact your life, like later on in the future after you've left college and moved on?
Yeah, kind of like what I said with a little bit of the last question. It's kind of teaching me how to lead other people. And so, kind of looking at relationship with a wife or with having kids. I'm going to be a teacher, so that's what I'm going to school for elementary education. So, kind of thinking about how to lead other people is very important, and how to manage a group of guys is very important for my just degree in general. So this is really helping me learn how to control the group, control you can say like a class, you can say of sorts. But yeah, just kind of teaching you that fundamentals of leadership that will play into different areas of your life, as well as teaching you how to be open and vulnerable. Is very important when you get, at any age actually. So this is kind of teaching you how to open up about what you're going through and what you're feeling in different areas that make you uncomfortable. I really like the saying of being comfortable with the uncomfortable. And so it's just kind of putting you in a spot where you need to be open and uncomfortable, and that's how you grow. So just teaching me a bunch of different disciplines and fundamentals of leadership. So.
The thing, I don't know if you have anything to say about that.
And I have pretty much, I have a lot of the same thoughts that he does. I really think that it would be helpful for like in the future when, or if, I guess, if you end up with a family, for helping you know how to, just having that experience when you're younger, practicing leadership, so that it's not something you have to learn after you're married and then you have a family. And I also think it trains you for the vulnerability that Logan said, for like your future church body, wherever you might end up. It'll help you be more open with those people there, because it's easy to be open, I would say, with close friends, but it also can help you grow in being open with people that you aren't necessarily super close to, but you still need to have that vulnerability because you're part of a community. And then with that vulnerability that you present, they're going to grow into being close to you. So they all kind of wrap around and work together.
Would you recommend Christian Challenge in small groups to other people?
Absolutely.
100%.
How would they go about joining?
It's pretty simple. It just kind of takes that step of faith on your part. Christian Challenge meets on Thursdays at 7:30, and there's different stuff that we do to kind of vocalize that out, kind of different social medias and different kind of platforms that we use for that. And we also have a thing called tabling, where we kind of sit out in the RSC or different parts of campus to let people know that who we are and what we're for, and to meet. And then when you're at Christian Challenge and you want to get involved in a small group, they give daily or weekly announcements on stage where they talk about, if you want to join a small group, here are the certain steps. And it's like, fill out a QR code or go to our page, our website. And so that gets you connected there. But I think the part that is the hardest is just taking that first step into getting involved. But after that, it's a lot easier.
Yeah. There's not really a step to join Christian Challenge. Anyone can just walk into River at that time, 7:30 on Thursday, and they can go to the sermon.
We do have security though, so.
That is true. So don't walk in with a weapon. But they can just walk in, they can go to the sermon, and then if they do want to take that step to being connected, we also do connect cards. We'll leave little cards in the seats that you can fill out afterwards if you want to join a small group as well, or if you want to just have your name added to text updates, whatever sort of things happen like that. So I guess that would be joining, but it's not like there's a big member list or anything.
All right. And this is going to be the last question. So would you recommend for people to become like a small group leader? Would you recommend that?
Yeah. I think being a small group leader has taught me a lot of things. And it's definitely, leadership is not for everybody. And that's okay. I mean, you can be a leader just by following Jesus faithfully and wanting to lead others. If you have those characteristics, basically, then you can be a leader, but you don't really have to be. But I would definitely recommend it. It's taught me a lot, and it's tested me more, just because some days you don't want to show up, but when you're the leader, you have to show up. And when you need to meet with your guys and you need to just kind of develop relationships, and sometimes you don't connect with people, which is completely normal, but as a leader, you need to be there for all your guys and get to know all of them. So just kind of forcing you to be uncomfortable has taught me a lot. So yes, I would definitely recommend being a leader at Christian Challenge or at any organization that you can get involved in.
Oh, I was going to say, do you have anything to add on that?
I mean, Christian Challenge is the medium through which we've gone to be leaders, but like you said, there are other avenues you can go. Getting involved in like anything for just your church, it can be an act of leadership. It's kind of like leadership, servitude, kind of go hand in hand, I would say. And so those things are pretty intertwined, and I think they help in your walk a lot. It gives you opportunities to do things that you wouldn't normally do if you were just a regular attendee. It gives you people that you can meet and be more intentional with as well. And so.
All right. So, lastly, do you just have any like final remarks or anything you want to talk about with either like Christian Challenge or being a leader of small groups or just about River in general?
Yeah, I don't know who's gonna watch these videos, but definitely join Christian Challenge.
Yes.
It's a great place to really connect with people, build friendships, and also faithfully follow our Lord Jesus. So definitely just a nice space to be in. Yeah, it's just comforting. Find joy there.
Ditto.
All right. Well, that's all I've got. So I'm going to stop this.